In my second year of medical school, I was thrilled to attend a specialized lab that trains medical residents. The lab was noisy, really noisy. We were literally drilling into bones. So I asked the professor who knew about my hearing loss to wear a tiny Bluetooth microphone that pairs with my hearing aids. The microphone is the size of a USB flash drive, is lightweight, and clips onto clothing. The microphone blocks background noise, allowing me to hear the speaker clearly in loud environments. The professor responded, "I don't put objects on my body." I was stunned. We had connected several times, so he was fully aware that I had hearing loss. A few minutes later, he asked me if I could hear him. "No," I said, "not without a microphone." He shrugged and went on speaking. I wish I could say this experience was an anomaly. The reality is that many people initially refuse to use the microphone. It is not easy to ask someone to wear a microphone. Think about it. Imagine approaching a stranger, someone who knows nothing about you, and disclosing a disability. Now imagine asking that same person to wear a microphone. And keep in mind, that person is also evaluating you. It's a really vulnerable position to be in. For some, receiving the request to use a microphone is an inconvenience. For me, making that request is my daily life. And when they say no, it is a form of exclusion. In those moments, I feel robbed of the opportunity to learn. And I am not the only one. People with disabilities are the largest minority in America. Yet according to the US Department of Labor, only 22% of Americans with disabilities were employed in 2023. That is about 1 in 5 people. The disability employment gap is a huge problem, and I am here today to tell you what we can do to solve it. But first, why even bother to wear the microphone? Why provide accommodations? People with disabilities bring unique perspectives and competitive advantages to the workplace. Some may argue that accommodations are expensive. However, most employers report little to no cost to provide accommodations. And when expenses are involved, the median one-time cost is about $300. Furthermore, companies leading in hiring people with disabilities are found to have higher total shareholder returns and higher profit margins. A study by Accenture found that a 1% increase in employment of individuals with disabilities could boost the US GDP by up to $25 billion. Inclusive environments boost workplace morale and overall employment engagement, which benefits everyone in the company. Most importantly, hiring people with disabilities gives an entire community a chance that some have spent decades trying to get. In the middle of an interview, an interviewer told me how his department previously rejected a very strong applicant with hearing loss because she could not hear with masks, and they had no idea how to accommodate her. Rather than working with her to find solutions, they simply rejected her, which happens to be illegal. Imagine interviewing for a job knowing they did not hire someone with the exact same disability as you. How would you react? And what would you do if you were conducting that interview? And that leads me to my first of 3 principles. Be open. It is okay to not know what to do, but do not assume that something cannot be done just because you cannot envision how. Instead, try something new, especially if it is easy. Wear a microphone, even if you don't typically use one. Give people a chance. Hire someone with a disability. Most importantly, recognize that there are many ways to accomplish the same task. You have the power to make a difference. Wherever you work, you can make that workplace more accessible. Towards the end of last year, I was recruiting for summer internships. I am very intentional in disclosing my disability upfront because I learn about the firm's work culture. For example, a partner in one firm assured me that my accommodation requests would not prevent me from receiving an interview. That conversation lasted no more than a few minutes, but it meant the world to me. One of the firms scheduled a meeting with me prior to my interview to trial the accommodations and to demonstrate what the accommodations would look like on interview day. The interviewers also ensured that my accommodations were being met during the interview. The interviewers in these workplaces were open. And that leads me to my next principle. Make accommodations easy to request and accessible to all. Provide examples of what accommodations are available during the interview and on the job. Clear processes empower people to ask for additional support, including people currently at your firm who may be afraid to disclose their disabilities. And of course, if you need accommodations, ask for them. Before medical school, I worked at a consulting firm. I initially did not request accommodations, mostly because I did not think I would need them. One day, our clients took a meeting from a single cell phone in a noisy room. Thousands of miles away, my team and I listened in from our own conference phone. The sound was muffled, the background noise was overwhelming, and the phone lacked captioning. I could not understand a word. After the call, I went to the bathroom and cried. I was frustrated that I was unable to do my job, not because I lacked the skills, but because I could not follow that conversation. Something had to change. I scheduled a meeting with my direct manager and requested professional captioning in client meetings. She thanked me for telling her. Over the next 2 weeks, I met with HR and my entire team. They were enormously supportive, and it was obvious they had done their research. They emphasized that my success was top priority. They connected me with IT to explore audio amplification on my computer, actively considered my hearing needs in meetings, and quickly secured a captioning contract. The clients were super excited about the captioning, and my performance skyrocketed. Most importantly, I felt confident and supported by my team. And that leads me to my final principle. Ask, but do your research first. Instead of assuming what someone can and cannot do, ask. Ask what has worked for them in the past. Ask how you can support them now. I am so thankful to my previous team for empowering me to not be shy to request additional support. We learned that solutions can be found. And I promise it gets easier with time. The same people who were initially resistant to the microphone started reaching for it before I even handed it to them. As future leaders, you will be in a position of influence. Be the ambassadors and pave the way by following the 3 principles. Be open, make accommodations easy to request, ask but do your research first. I firmly believe that people with disabilities have inner superpowers because we constantly and resiliently innovate around challenges. Our disabilities enable us to see the unseen, hear the unheard, and tap the untapped. We are your future employees, colleagues, and leaders. Thank you.